Good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or good night, depending on where you are and when you're watching this. My name is Josh McCabe. This is Module 3, Unit 4, Activity 1. Today, we are going to talk about flow. What is it? And how it works. Alright, so for this activity, let's watch a video. What we're watching is a video about a disc golf player named Philo Barathi, who threw a very amazing shot a really long distance. Now, Activity 1 was all about flow. Flow is when you are so involved or immersed or enjoying something that you don't necessarily think about doing it, and in that way you can be learning while doing something without even thinking about the fact that you're learning. I chose to talk about disc golf. Disc golf is something that I do for enjoyment, for personal recreation, but it's also something that I'm constantly learning at. But I'm not thinking about how I'm learning. Before we get too much into disc golf, let's go over the basics of flow. Brilliant psychologist whose name I'm not even going to try to butcher, coined the term and stated that there's essentially 8 steps or stages of flow. Working on a task. For me, when I'm playing disc golf, it just means improving myself. So getting better than I did last time on a specific hole or a whole course, or just having a straighter throw or a more accurate throw for what I'm working on. He also said that you should have clear goals. For me, playing disc golf, that would be parring a course or finishing with a specific score. For those of you who don't know, parring a course, par is a term used to describe what the average for something should be. So in disc golf terms, parring a course or parring a hole, on average, a hole will be 3 throws from where you start to where you finish, where the goal or basket is. You could have a par for a work standard, which means what everyone should be up to at a certain level. So, a clear set goal for me is to make it to a par on that hole or that course. Conceptual understanding, for me, in disc golf, it just means slowly learning how each disc is different and how all of the discs work. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. Positive relationships, 100% you build those playing disc golf. Anyone you play with, you build a positive relationship with because you're both doing something you love. And you're usually not at work. Motivational drive. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. With disc golf, your motivational drive is just to improve, to do better, to maybe beat your friends. Constructive feedback definitely happens when playing disc golf because you're encouraging people, you're telling them whether or not you thought they did good, whether they can improve, they can throw this way, they can throw that way. You have a variety of different disc options. And finally, active and interactive. Definitely 100% disc golf is an active sport. Maybe not active as, say, soccer or basketball or football or something where you're running around constantly, but you are moving and you are doing something. But it's also interactive in that you're playing with other people and you're interacting. You can play by yourself, but most people would agree that anything worth doing is more fun doing with someone else. So, when I play disc golf, I think I'm doing this. In reality, 9 times out of 10, it's this wonderful little GIF. GIF? Oh, it's so depressing. Now, for our activity, we need to cite 2 sources. Here's our wonderful psychologist. I've tried so many times to remember how to pronounce his name. But he stated that an activity should be challenging at a level that is just above one's current ability. However, if it's too hard, they will get annoyed or become anxious and give up. And if it's too easy, they'll get bored and won't do it. This is very true with disc golf. If a course is too hard, you get frustrated and you don't try as hard. You give up. And again, if it's too easy, then we wouldn't be doing it, because who wants to do something that isn't fun? If it's too easy, it won't be fun. All right, and my next source was Rebecca Statakis. It's a little bit easier to say. And she talked about how students learn through playing games, which is 100% true for disc golf. For example, on our discs, I don't know if you can see that, there is a set of numbers. That tells you roughly what your disc is meant to do. Where's the numbers? There. Now, I could sit back and I could memorize all of these numbers right there. However, that's only learning through one method. By going out and playing disc golf, I'm using the discs. I'm learning kinesthetically and also visually, because I'm watching how the discs actually fly, instead of just remembering, oh, this number says this, so it goes this direction or this far straight or whatever. So I'm actually playing the sport, and through that, remembering how each disc works. And keep in mind, there's thousands of discs, and they all do different things, and they're made out of different plastics. So by playing, I'm remembering and learning all of that. Now, the final part of this activity is to discuss how you can create the right conditions in your classroom. I contributed on the discussion forum, and I think it's very valid in that one of the most important ways to get students experiencing flow is to relate it to real life scenarios that they can see and understand. If you're talking or you're learning about something that they have no relation to, or they'll never do or see or experience, they're going to have a lot harder time getting involved and collaborating and enjoying a lesson. All right, and the second part of the discussion portion of activity 1 is to talk about how the connection you have between flow, play, and learning. And I'm not really sure if it's in your personal life or within the classroom, but I can relate it to both. In my personal life, I just did a video about disc golf. And so I've learned all about disc golf and how all of the different discs work through flow, through playing, through interacting with other people. Not sitting down and memorizing facts about discs from a book or a website. And in the same way, you can relate that to a classroom, in that your kids are going to learn the material best through interacting and playing and doing and participating in things, more so than just sitting down and memorizing facts. All right. If you need my references, here they are. Sorry, my video is covering it a little bit. I'm not quite sure how to move that. All right. And goodbye.